Coming up on Mountain News this morning, some businesses are struggling to reopen after Sunday's winter storms. And folks are rescheduling appointments for their driver's license as offices face staffing shortages.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Madison Carmouche. We're inching up to that 5 o'clock mark this Wednesday morning. We're going to go ahead and check in with meteorologist Megan Desmal for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, I walked outside and it was a little wider out there than when I went to bed.
Yeah, we did have just that little bit of flurries yesterday, making it look a lot brighter. Thankfully, no more ice with this, so there is some positives. And it does make the already slippery surfaces a little bit better. I mean, when I was walking to my car this morning, I wasn't tripping and falling as much on the ice with that little bit of snow flurries, leaving that nice little coverage and maybe a little bit more friction on the ground. Now, as we are going through the next couple days, we did just have a storm watch be announced. Now, this is not for today. This is for Friday starting at 3 a.m. and going until Saturday at 6 a.m. So just a couple days away, but just put that on your alert as we're heading into the next couple of days. But this morning, what you can expect, you do have some visibility issues, especially towards the northeastern parts of our region this morning, as well as those colder temperatures and a bit of some flurries this morning you can continue to see, but hopefully will be tapering off as you're heading it through your afternoon, similar to how it did yesterday. Now here's what you can expect in terms of temperature through the next couple hours, really just staying cold all day long, not seeing much movement in those temperatures, with wind chills feeling just a bit colder than that. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. With the hits of the winter weather still rolling through the region, many businesses in Pike County are waiting to reopen their doors. A portion of the Weddington Plaza and Coal Run saw widespread damage during the Sunday night storm. Officials say the drainage system on the roof was clogged by the mixture of snow and ice that sat on the roof, and that mixture made its way into the ducts and storefronts below. At least 7 stores were damaged, leaving some of them with thousands of dollars in damage as they wait to see how the building will be repaired.
It could be days before we're back open again. I mean, it all depends on how fast we do everything, how fast we can get it all cleaned up, how fast we can get it safe for customers to return. It could take a while. I mean, we're looking at least days, if not weeks.
Managers and owners at the other businesses say they are glad to see the support and help of one another, saying they are all like a big family in the Weddington Plaza. Governor Andy Beshear is encouraging folks to check on their neighbors as temperatures continue to drop. The governor gave an update on winter storm recovery efforts during a Team Kentucky briefing yesterday. He says crews throughout the Commonwealth are still working to restore power and clear roads of snow and ice.
Kentuckians, let's remember to continue looking out after our neighbors and our family members. If you have power and a family member doesn't, and they have a medical device that needs power, invite them over. Help them out until power gets up. I think at the worst case scenario, we're looking at several days in some areas, so I think we'll have a lot more power back up tonight.
While several officials are asking folks to stay off the roads, others were headed to Frankfort. State offices in Frankfort reopened yesterday as the Kentucky General Assembly got underway. We will have more on that coming up in the next half hour. You may need to reschedule your trip to the driver's license office with the winter weather this week. Offices have been impacted by the weather and staffing availability. Many appointments at Kentucky driver's licensing regional offices yesterday were rescheduled. You are encouraged to postpone in-office walk-in visits to later this week or next week. They say remote driver's license renewal options are available online and by mail. More information can be found at driveky.gov. As the snow flurries continued throughout the week, road crews continued to work. Salt trucks are still on the roads working to keep the ice to a minimum as much as possible. Crews even started prepping the roads before the winter storm started. Perry County Judge Executive Scott Alexander helped salt the roads, going out in one of the trucks as soon as he can.
We usually start really early. We'll have some trucks out at 5. We actually have a couple trucks we keep out all night. Anytime there's an emergency, we try to go to it, but then we'll come in at 5. A lot of the trucks will get on the road at 6.
Alexander says there are some roads that need to wait until daylight to be salted, including some side roads and smaller streets. Heating and plumbing companies are working around the clock to make sure everyone can stay safe and warm. One Central Kentucky heating and air company says they received hundreds of calls within the last few days. One plumbing manager says so far, most of their calls were for busted HVAC systems and generator installations.
When the unit is running nonstop trying to keep up, it's eventually going to wear itself out.
Pearl says it is important that people know how their home is heated. If your house runs primarily on gas, there is no need to worry as much about the cold impacting your heat. But if it runs primarily on electric, you need to be mindful of snow and ice piling up on outdoor unit heating pumps. With even lower temperatures ahead of us, you need to keep an eye out for pipes being frozen. You may not know there is an issue until the weather warms up and the pipe bursts. But there are some steps you can take now to prevent that. Those include making sure all access to crawl spaces are closed. If your pipes do freeze, shut off the water, then wait for them to thaw on their own or call a plumber. We have more winter storm coverage on WYMT.com and the WYMT News app. That includes a link to find warming centers and the latest list of school closings. Just scan this QR code for a link to download the app. You can also sign up for breaking news alerts. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we return, cheerleading is a nationally growing sport, but as it grows, officials stress the safety first to avoid serious concussions.
And another chance of snow is coming to eastern Kentucky. I'll have more up next.